Blue Society, and I love the title of this, Niecey LivingSingle and the Obama's Love Show.
Yes, yes.
Which is going to be streaming on March 19th. So that's next Friday.
Yes.
I believe we've got you down at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Thank you for knowing that. Again, and I really like the title of the Obama's Love Show, because after I was listening to your music today, I would imagine that Michelle Obama would definitely enjoy. I would go with probably Live My Life.
Oh, thank you.
Don't Make Me Cry. Those are beautiful. And I will tell you, Going Fightin', We Going Fightin', spoke to me for personal reasons. And I watched the video several times and had to wipe the tears from my eye. My son is battling cancer right now.
Oh, wow. So, sorry to hear that. My daughter is. I actually wrote that song. She's a 7-year survivor. But I wrote the song in 2014 after she was diagnosed. And so this is her 7th year that she's been a survivor of cancer. And that's what made me write We Gonna Fight. I also wrote, what did you say? I'm Not Willing?
Don't Make Me Cry, Live My Life, which I...
Oh, Live My Life. Oh, Live My Life. Yeah, Don't Make Me Cry. I wrote that with Levi Caesar, and Live My Life was written by Mikhail London. Yeah. Well,
Live My Life, I like that. I very, very much respect anybody that takes the initiative to reinvent themselves.
Yes.
You know, people get stuck in their lane and that's what they know, and they don't color outside the lines. And this song spoke to reinventing yourself.
Yes.
I thought that was so beautiful, and we only get one chance, and
we do. That's it. You got to make the best of it. It's your only time. That's it.
This is it. See, I knew we were kindred spirits when we met.
Yes, we're very kindred.
Felt this immediate thing there. All right, so you, young lady, have been awarded recently the 2020 Black Music Awards.
Yes.
Choice at the BMAs in 2018.
Yes.
You were nominated. I've never heard of KB, but that was the best female performer. Yes. And then I also like the title of this one, Best Neo Soul Singer at the Northern California Music Awards.
Yeah. Yes.
So those are some really good acknowledgments of the power of your voice and your music.
Thank you. Yes. I'm just happy with all the acknowledgments that I'm able to get, surrounded. I like all genres of music. So in anything that I have that come in, I try not to just stereotype myself into just one category. Right. Because I do love all types of music. So I try to, branch myself out into whatever I feel that, I can accomplish. And even if I don't succeed once, I'll keep trying again. But so far, everything has just been, spectacular with the response from individuals, from whether I do blues or neo soul or R&B. I just did a jazz event, and I've just been asked to do a jazz single, and so I was like, sure, So I don't really label myself under any certain category as a vocalist. I do enjoy R&B. I grew up on country and western, so
nice.
Yeah. So, but I just try to keep my mind and heart and soul and space open to receive, whatever comes to me. So, whether it's
you're
jazz,
doing
blues.
You're doing a great job. I know I stayed for one of the songs that you all were recording last week, and it kind of reminded me of Bill Withers, who is one of my all-time favorite.
I love him.
He's staying in the top 5 for all of my musical life. Grandma's Hands is, a song that always.
Oh yeah.
That song is just so beautiful, and I know there was something about you.
You didn't stay there, but he was in our lineup. But You Won't Do for Love, yeah, he was definitely in the lineup. Yeah. I don't usually ever do any events without him, because he's one of my favorites. So What You Won't Do for Love is always in my music repertoire whenever we're doing an event. Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Right on. Well, he's definitely an artist that reinvented himself many times.
Very much.
Yes, he didn't start playing till late in life. Literally just picked up a guitar and said, "This is what I'm going to do now."
Right, and then became a master of it.
Hello. Oh my God. He's just amazing. And I like how stubborn he became later in life, because Questlove, who I admire as a music producer, he loved Bill Withers, and he would call him, I read in the interview in Rolling Stone magazine, he would call him up and say, please go back on tour, just one more. He would like literally call him, beg him. And Bill Withers said, no, I can't stand the music industry as the way it is now. I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, he can't, it's kind of hard. I've heard other artists, that's just out here that's spoken on the, the way the industry is now today. Stephanie Mills is another one that has, just made it kind of, known that the industry is way different than when they came out. I think when they hit the scene though and came out, that's when you really, not saying that no one isn't talented, but I mean, you really had to showcase talent when they were coming out. And so I think they look now and see where you can just jump in and just do whatever. And so it's like the appreciation of real music to some prevail is, I won't say it's at a waste, but I'll just say that I think from where they come from as legends and how they got into the industry, it wasn't easy. It wasn't like somebody just picked them up and just planted them in the studio. They really had to make, Bill Withers started late. He had to make a name for himself, So I think when they look now at how the industry has just changed so rapidly, they have a right to speak about how things have changed. And I take a lot of it into merit because of who they are, and how far they've come.
Well, that's a great attitude, and you are spot on in saying that. Definitely spot on. Which is that's a perfect segue into what I'm going to say next. Also, while I was listening to you this afternoon, I rewatched most of it. I couldn't, but the Stax story out of Memphis, which is a really fascinating story about Black artists and soul music performing in the South, especially. Oddly enough, it was started by a brother and sister, nice white people, and I saw that the Dramatics played there. Did you record with the Dramatics?
No, I opened for them.
You opened for them?
Yeah, 3 years ago. My band, actually, the Obamas was the band that they chose to have and play for them. And then I opened with the Obamas for the Dramatics, and then the Dramatics was accompanied by the Obamas. So it was a really great experience.
That had to have been a lot of fun.
Oh, it was. I mean, I was shocked. I mean, there's so many great Bay Area artists, bands, just people of music. So anything that I'm, asked to do or given the opportunity to do, I don't take it for granted, because it's just, the talent is abundant, in the Bay Area. So I always feel like, okay, this is like so special to me, because they could pick anyone. I mean, and so, like I said, there's so many great bands out there, but I got a call from Dan Dillman at the Bow Theater, said that they were looking for a band to back up the Dramatics. I said, okay. He said, do you think you can pull your band together? I said, sure. And at that time, I wasn't looking to do anything. I got the band together, got some new music. So then he said, okay, well, on Mother's Day, you can open for them, which was that Sunday. They were there that Saturday and that Sunday. So that Saturday I was working somewhere else, and my band accompanied them. And then that Sunday I came in and I opened for them, and then the band played for them. So it's like a really great, memory for me, really great memory. Yeah.
Well, it's a testament as to who you are for them to call you up, because they have obviously been around for a while. I pulled up one of their videos too on Soul Train. So I thought that show was great. And then, which also will bring me circling back to your band, who I had the pleasure of meeting. And I was quite enamored with, it turns out it was your cousin and his drum kit.
Oh, Carl Carter. Yes.
That wonderful red drum kit. I was so taken with it. And then he was so sweet. He came over and he showed me this picture of his other drum kit. And he said, no, this is my baby.
Yes.
And I asked him, I said, I bet you never let her out, do you? And he says, nope, only on a special occasion does she get to come out. So I'm just wondering what that special occasion would be.
I don't know.
I know, I should have asked him. So you have to give me the list of these
I
special
know.
occasions.
I'm
I'm
gonna
dying
find
to know
out.
now.
I'm gonna find out, and I'm gonna text you the information. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful drum kit, and he was very proud of it. Very proud of it.
Yes.
And you had the very talented saxophonist. In fact, when I live live videoed, I guess we just streamed it while you were singing, and several people on Facebook, and several people immediately who chimed in wrote about who is that guy on the saxophone.
Yeah, that's Rick Alexander. He's also a saxophonist for the R&B group Tony.
Okay.
And then he plays for just a selective amount of bands, as well as, you know, he does his own solo artwork himself. Me and him work also together in a samba funk band. So, I mean, I have a lot of fun. I really like playing with Rick because we kind of just got good chemistry on stage where, because he's a lead saxophonist, so that makes it easy because I don't have, as people will see, background singers. So that's why I really like having him there. He just I just tell him, fill in the ducks in the spaces and go for it, you know.
And he does.
So, yeah, and so it's really nice working with him. And he's really, really, really talented and works with a lot of people. Like I said, mostly known with Tony. If you catch the videos or you see them in concert, most likely you're going to see Rick Alexander on that stage with Dwayne
Rick Alexander. Well, yeah, he definitely. My other favorite saxophonist is Charles McNeil.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of would put those two in the same room almost. I mean, their styles are slightly different, but there's a strong similarity there.
Yeah, he's really good, and that's why I had the band to do an instrumental, because I said, okay, if we're gonna have Rick here, it'll be Niecey and the Obamas featuring Rick Alexander. So, you know, let's let him do an instrumental so that people, if I know they're gonna love them, but they get to see, you know, him in action, and then we'll come back together. So it was really nice pulling him in, because my guitar player, he's moved to another state. They bought a home in another state. And so when Richard asked me about the event, at first I thought, I gotta, you know, I have such a big repertoire of music. I didn't want to overload on a guitarist to just come in and try to learn all the stuff that we already know. I've been playing with this other guitar player for 6 years, more. So I decided, okay, I'm going to get Rick Alexander to fill in. And I think that would be just a different ambience than what people would expect. But what he brings to and delivers to the performances, I figured people would enjoy him a lot.
Yeah, he was pointed out several times. Who is that guy on sax? I'm like, I don't know, but I really like him.
Yeah, Rick Alexander.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask you, 7 is your newest CD?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And that one houses the songs that really spoke to me today. And then Broken Pieces, I think that was the first video of yours that I watched.
Yes,
Is that going to be our new favorite breakup song?
It can be, yeah. Broken Pieces,
It sounded like it.
Yeah. That was written by McKell London, and we had a lot of fun doing that video back in 2017. And he sent the music to me because someone else was singing the song, and then he said, "Well, you can do whatever you want to do with the arrangements, and you can go for it." I said, "Okay." So I just kind of tweaked the arrangements and stuff with the vocals, and it really came out nice. I mean, I loved it. I mean, it was
beautiful video.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, and "Don't Make Me Cry" was another one. I wrote that one with Levi Caesar, and as soon as he played the music for me, he gave me the title, and I just wrote it right there in the studio because I fell in love with the music. And I was like, I think every woman maybe can relate to this,
Completely
don't make me cry. I don't mind, dating you, but you better not come in with no junk, so, and he was like, I'm just going to give you a title. You can go with it how you want to. So, but I think we recorded it like all that in that one day. I sat there and I wrote I wrote it out, and we came through, we went in there and we did it in one day, but I fell in love with it when I first heard the music, and I was like, okay, I was like, don't make me cry. He was like, you can write any way you want to. So I'm gonna put a twist on it. I'm not gonna make a song like what he did to make me cry. I'm gonna make a song as if like I like the guy, and I'm anticipating that that's what he's going to do. So I'm asking him, don't make me cry because I want to give you a chance. But if you make me cry, I've already warned you. So yeah, so it's fun writing a song.
That song definitely spoke to me, as I think it would speak to a lot of women out there.
Oh,
don't
for sure.
Cry.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Just send them all those 2 songs.
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. All right.
This is the deal. All right. So they're really beautiful. Now I'm going to ask you probably a generic question that all artists are asked.
Mm-hmm.
One would be, who are your influences? Who influenced you the most? And when did you start singing?
I started singing, I know my mother said when I was like 2 years old, I was singing around the house. And I was adopted. So
okay.
Relatively what people would think I grew up on, like Soul Train and Motown. No, my parents were much older, an older generation. Probably could have been my great-grandparents.
Wow.
And they were from the deep south of Texas.
Okay.
And so I grew up on country and western music. So I was bonded with Dolly Parton.
Nice.
Yeah, Elvis Presley.
Oh my God, those are great artists.
Who was played in my home. I heard some Nat King Cole, but I didn't really hear Motown and like things that I think people would think I've heard when I didn't see a lot of things or hear a lot of music. I heard music, but different types of music. Like I grew up on the Carpenter Singers. I grew up hearing the Beatles. And then as I got, that's what they played in my home. Johnny Cash, I was in love with him, and Chuck Berry. Oh my God. Yeah. And like I said, maybe with some of my friends of my peers, in the 70s, maybe they did or they didn't relate. That was a little maybe ahead of their time or over their time, because these were older artists of a different genre than maybe they were listening to Gladys or Marvin Gaye or Aretha Franklin. I didn't hear any of those artists when I was growing up, but the artists that I did hear, I was very fond of. I wanted to be a Dolly Parton. I thought she was just this beautiful, country singer. Yeah. So that I would say, as I got a little older, I got into Natalie Cole. This was when I was grown though. As an adult, I started listening more to like, Etta James, and I listened to, they played a lot of Eartha Kitt in my home, Billie Holiday. Yeah. So I just heard like different music to where I never, like some people would say, you don't never sound like anyone. And I'll tell them, no, because I didn't really get to listen to music like that where I could mimic and say, I want to be the next Gladys, or I want to be the next Natalie,
you want to be
I didn't hear it. Yeah, I said I just would hear music and not necessarily. As a child, I wouldn't even be able to put the color with the song. I just the race with the song. I like the song and I'm singing and dancing to it. So as I grew up, I think that just maintained with me. So I've never stuck to just one artist or one sound or one thing. That's why I said I like all kind of music. I'll go to a country and western concert in a minute because I love country and western. So,
I think that I think of I would love to see Dolly Parton. I think that would be one of the most amazing shows. Yeah. I mean, just even what she's doing currently, with her contributions to people suffering and the vaccine.
Yes,
and COVID.
Yes.
She's being her.
She
but
is.
I think another artist, Johnny Cash definitely, but Patsy Cline.
Oh, yes. I didn't even think we had Patsy Cline. Oh, yes. Most definitely. Like I said, my parents were from the deep part of the South, and they were much older. So when I say older, I mean, like I was a child in the 70s. They were already in their late 50s, 60s, and 70s. And so they just listened to a different type of music. Yeah. I did hear B.B. King when I was growing up. I heard a lot of jazz. Like they liked a lot of jazz music. It wasn't so much they were singing, but I guess what they call standard jazz that was played in my home. But yeah, I mean that. So I would have to say, like some of the stars that I've really admired. One, like I said, was the Carpenter Singers. I thought they were beautiful. I thought their harmonies was beautiful. The Beatles, I love them. That still to this day, Come Together is my song, and then I loved Natalie Cole and her father, Nat King Cole. And then making it more relevant, of course, I love Whitney and I love Luther Vandross. So those were kind of like some people that as I became an adult, I latched on to Whitney and Luther. And as a child, like I said, I grew up, I thought about Dolly Parton. You couldn't tell me nothing about her and Chuck Berry.
Oh, Chuck Berry. That guy is another. A very close friend of mine who actually lives in Texas. He and I got into a little bit of a kerfuffle over Chuck Berry. He thought Chuck Berry was overrated, and I'm like, what do you mean he's overrated? No, there's no overrated about him.
No,
and I said, I want you have to do a deep dive not only in his history but his music, and then you'll feel differently.
Yeah,
I read a really funny article of the African American artists who would travel when they were first starting out, and they had traveled in their RVs, and they would go to different shows. And I kind of think that maybe that one scene in Blues Brothers, we play country music, both kinds of country music. He was recounting. In his RV, they travel, and I think it was in Arkansas maybe, or Georgia, I don't remember, but it was in that song Maybelline came out.
Oh, I remember that song, yes.
And he was touring, and they got to the venue, and they all got out of the RV, and the owner of the venue came out and stared at them, and he knew right then and there they thought they were a white band.
Yeah.
He said, we all just got back in the RV and drove away. They thought it was a white country band.
I mean, I can imagine. That's how it was back then, I could imagine.
Guys, we gotta go.
Let's hit it. I was looking at Billie Holiday's story that they had just shown a few weeks ago.
I saw that.
It's just kind of amazing how we've made a big progress with music, and how music has joined us together, but how much people had to fight. People had to fight to make it become an equalism with music, so that we could just sit together and we could just enjoy a show together.
A commonality for the music. The music should bring us together, and interestingly enough, Strange Fruit is such a powerful song imagery, and I'm still startled as to how many people don't know what that song is about.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I until I was looking at the movie the other day. Yeah, I've heard Strange Fruit, but really never knew the meaning of the meaning of it. Yeah, like what the meaning and the grounds of what she wrote it off. So it was very soul searching for me.
Right.
Because I saw Lady Sings the Blues, and Lady Sings the Blues is totally different than this new Billie Holiday story that's come out, that's showcasing where she was putting herself on the line, just by singing this song. And actually she was torn down and shut down, by singing this song that they were considering radical and, and causing, trouble. Where she was just singing from her beliefs,
Yeah, and the government, was treating jazz musicians as not only the other because of their skin, but also they thought it was too radical music and very un-American, which is also saying you're un-American, you're not white.
Right.
It's a powerful movie. Yeah, I saw Lady Sings the Blues, and they definitely sugarcoated a lot of things.
A lot. Are you kidding me? They sugarcoated the whole movie. The only thing that they made her appear in that movie to me was, from my interpretation, she was a drug addict. She sung and she was loose. She just kind of was a loose cannon. Whereas in this other movie, she was very sophisticated. She was very well put together. Yes, drugs did destroy her, but that's what drugs will do. But she herself was a very educated, in tune person, and Lady Sings the Blues didn't touch any of that. So I remember I've heard the song Strange Fruit many times and knew it was her song, and really didn't make relevance to it until I just saw the movie, and I was like, wow, And then I guess the way they incorporated showing what type of trouble she was going to get into by singing this song. But what amazed me was I was like, but she had a predominantly white audience and they wanted to hear the song. So that's what I was like, that's crazy. They want to hear the song, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll give them some healing. But they don't want her to sing it, but it would be, you know, she was singing to a relatively white audience, which was to me captivating because I was like, that wasn't easy back in that time, you know, to be singing. You know, she was like on top of the world as what we would call a Rihanna or a Beyonce or a Diana Ross of today. I mean, when you look at the audiences and where she was playing, that was just, you know, she just was like, to me, before her time. So those parts of the movies, it threw me off, especially when I would look in the audience and they were requesting for her to sing this song. So I didn't understand, well, why are the authorities coming in? I mean, it's a race that they're trying to say she's targeting against. They're coming to her shows and evidently they want to hear her sing this song. And
targeting her. I remember when I had my come to music moment when I learned the words of what it meant. I got really curious, and so I did a little bit of a deep dive. And it's a powerful imagery song for sure. And if you listen to it, you think strange fruit, you know. I wouldn't even know what strange fruit I would think of it were an actual about a fruit. But I love how I think you and I connected too, oddly enough, since you lived in the South, and I told you I lived in the South for a while. And we talked about the big flying icky.
Oh yeah. Well, I would go visit. We didn't it felt like we lived there, but we went there every year for 3 months. And because, like I said, my family was from there. And so every year when I got out of school for 3 months, I mean, but that was enough. That's all I needed. I mean, life is so different there. And the bugs are humongous. You know? And I can remember,
say the cockroaches they're like 3 inches long and they fly in formation at you.
And then they had they had the water bugs that I couldn't tell a water bug from the cockroaches. I couldn't tell what was what. And then there it seemed like the people that were that lived in that habitat and that environment, they weren't bothered by nothing. Like it was like all the bugs and gnats and everything would come at me and they would just bypass them and they wasn't bothered. So it's like, what in the world?
Have you ever been in the Everglades?
No.
Oh, I highly recommend that you go. Everybody should go to the Everglades at least once in your life. And you go down Alligator Alley, and that's also a place that you don't want to piss anybody off because you will never be found again, ever.
Oh my God! God!
Those alligators are around, and the airboat rides are a blast. But when you're talking about the bugs, you're like in the thick of it. It's it's not a swamp. It's referred to the world's slowest moving river. But it feels like a swamp, and then the humidity is so thick, and there are the bugs, and people just fan. They just have their fan going, and they kind of, leisurely swat them away. And meanwhile, I remember being there, and I felt like I was in Mortal Kombat with these large flying mosquitoes and everything.
I would have died. I'm telling you that it just seemed like the last time I went, to Texas, I remembered. It just seemed like everything I just would look down, the ants and everything would be coming towards me, and it wouldn't be bothering any of my family or friends or cousins that were from
I
there.
hear you.
I was like, what in the world? And they were used to it. I wasn't used to it. They would be, oh, here come the city girl. I'm like, hey, I mean, I'm not trying to be a city girl, but I am a city girl. I'm not used to this. I'm used to a can of Raid kills a whole line of ants, not just one.
Thank you. The one that's like 3 feet long.
And then it don't die. It doesn't die. It just lay there and squiggle a little bit and get back up. So that's so funny. I was so happy that you related to that story because here in California people can't relate, and if you haven't been to the South before, then there's no way you get it. Like, no, I definitely related. And like I said, we went every year for like at least 7 or 8 years straight, because that's where my family was from. Before my adopted family, my father took sick with cancer, so we didn't go as much. And so that's what they called us, was the city girls, because me and my sister, we just wasn't used to that. I just wasn't used to it. And we would go every year for 3 months. But I mean, when I would come back home, you forget in 9 months until you get back there again, like this is torture, so I never could get used to, I never could get used to the humidity and stuff. I never could get used to it.
No, you can't get used to it. It does weird things to your hair, that's for sure. And
God. I know for me, I wear this, but the my weaves and wigs for the stage or whatever, but I know out there I'd probably have a nice little crew cut, because there's no way I'd be able to walk around with all this. I know my daughter, she went back south, and she was saying, "Mom, you can't even wear makeup out here." I said,
"No, you can't.
It's gonna slide off."
That's what it does. It will. Yes. It will just like run off your face. I kind of gave up on it after a while. Even if you're sitting in the air conditioning, you walk outside, it's just you're instantly wet. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And I had like 3 friends that moved out there, and I wondered, why did they cut all their hair off? They had nice length, even if they didn't wear the weaves and stuff or the wigs, and we were entertaining. They still had nice length of hair. But when they got there, they cut it completely, off. It just was nice little short, page boy cuts, and it looks nice.
Cute cuts.
But they told me, they was like, it's so hot out here. You don't want anything on you that's gonna, attract the heat. So you do everything to free yourself. So they let their hair grow in the winter, and then in the summer. You just
chop it all off.
Yeah, it's off. Yeah.
That sounds about right. I was trying to thinking of who I would see that like to come perform outside at some of the blues festivals in the Tampa Bay area, and 2 that come to mind that would be up on the stage, and they were definitely not used to the heat. One was Al Green. And I don't know where he's from, but he always just reminded me of someone that was born in the South. But I think he was older and had definitely moved to a place where he's not having to deal with the humidity.
Wasn't used to that, yeah.
And then who else did I see outside that kept mentioning that? Gosh, no, it's escaping my mind. But yeah, there was always a topic of conversations like, what the hell is going on around here with this humidity?
I'm telling you, the humidity is crazy. It's like, woo, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I know people will have heat strokes out there, and and I would just, I think the last time I've been there, it's been a few years ago, but I was so ready to come back home. I'm like, hey, I can deal with the 80 weather, but you guys are 80 times 2, and I just don't understand it. 8 o'clock at night is still 95 degrees. I don't like Vegas for that reason. I like Vegas, but not when it's in the summer. People will, let's go walking around. Like, no, I can't do anything until the sun goes down. It's just too hot to me.
It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. I remember I had sandals on one time in Vegas, and we went outside, and it was like 100,000 degrees out, and my shoes literally, kind of
they melt.
Yeah, they melted.
They're
walking, stretching. So, have you performed in Vegas?
Yeah, actually, I work with a Motown group, and so I do Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and then we have it's Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and then we do the I can't think of the other ladies group, but oh God, I got a brain freeze. We do them all the time. Anyway, we do it every year. We out there. We do it in Laughlin.
Okay.
We stay out a week in Laughlin. We used to do the Strip quite a bit. God, I cannot think of the other 4 ladies. It's not the Supremes, but we do have a group that we have a Diana Ross, but we used to have Supremes act with Diana Ross. We have Temptations. We have the Spinners.
I love the Temptations.
Yeah, our Temptations is the group that formerly Talk of the Town, and they're awesome. Yeah, we have a Gladys Knight and the Pips.
No, you can't go wrong with Gladys Knight. Oh my God.
You can't, no. And then we do, they sing Hey, Mr. Postman. That was that group called that sings Postman.
I don't know, you're stumping me, and I'm going to have to go and Google everything after we get done here.
Oh, yes. Anyway,
I'm being a bad interviewer. DJ's like, I'm supposed to.
And they're going to be mad at me because they'll be like, you did an interview and you couldn't think of the group. But no, because I'm thinking of Martha Reeves and the Vandellas.
I was going to say the Shirelles too. That's the only ones that I can think of right now.
No, we didn't do the Shirelles. I know once they did. I think was it the Pointer Sisters?
Oh, the Pointer
Jones
Sisters.
Girls. Yeah, they did the Jones Girls, the Pointer Sisters. Wait, I'm gonna look it up because I'm gonna go crazy if I don't.
I feel like I need to too. So you tell me, because I don't want to get especially you in trouble, or me.
For they're just gonna be like, you didn't remember.
I had to kick you off the air.
Right. Let me see if I can come up. The Marvelettes. The Marvelettes. Oh my God. Please forgive me, ladies.
I would never have thought of that had you not looked that up.
Yeah, oh my God. It was the furthest from my mind because I kept thinking Martha Reeves, and I'm like, no, the Marvelettes. Yeah, we do the Marvelettes. Yeah.
They're kind of an obscure group.
Yeah.
I mean, you also did you perform with Lenny Williams? Because to me, he's a kind of an obscure singer, and his song, what? I'm going to casually love you. No, I love you. 'Cause I love you.
'Cause I love you.
Oh my God. Yeah. What a sexy, slow moving, hot song.
He's nice. I mean, I've opened for him a few times. And actually, when I opened for the Dramatics, he came to that show. And he told me that I did a good job. I mean, my bass player, Kevin Scott, that played for us. He is the bass player, where he plays for everybody. But he actually is what used to be Lenny Williams' bass player.
Really? Wow. Yeah. You've got some great connections, because that was a really wonderful video to watch. He was I was like, wow, why have I not listened to this person before? That's what I have to tell you when I talked with artists. I always make sure that I do a deep dive and to see some of the things. And the thing that I appreciate about the most of meeting a new artist and learning is that I can go and learn, because I never would have listened to Lenny Williams before. I'd never even heard of him.
Oh, he's such a nice person. I've opened for him for a few shows, but I think the greatest thing was, I remember Kevin, the bass player, said, Lenny's going to come to the show. He had spoken with him. I said, really? He said, yes. So I was a little nervous. I was like, what? He's going to be in the audience? But I mean, he was really nice. He came, he said he enjoyed the show. And
I can imagine.
Yeah. Oh my God. So just knowing he was in the audience. And then I did another event in San Francisco for the Black Cuisine. And he was the headliner there, and so I opened for him over there. So I met him a few times. And he's always just so friendly. He's always just, he has great advice, and he's just a nice person, Besides being a legend, I'll be like, Lenny Williams,
God, that
such
song
a cool
is just
guy. Yeah,
beautiful, and it's a lengthy song too. It's a good seven and a half minutes, I believe. He's not playing at all.
No.
So we're gonna end this here pretty quick. And can you list your band members? I know you told me your saxophone and your drummer is your cousin, who I'm just enamored with his red drum kit.
Thank you.
And I can't remember what the instrument is called, because you told me the one that I kept saying that I liked.
Oh, the percussion? You like the percussion? Yeah. The percussionist, his name is Frank Lemon. Frank Lemon, okay. Yeah, he's a percussion. That's the percussion machine.
That's a great little instrument. I was just completely taken with that. Your band is great. And
thank you.
The respect that you all have for each other was just phenomenal. And
thank you.
I loved how when they were walking through the door, with their instruments and everything, we were like, cool, here we are, we're cool. I just love their attitude so much, the way they walked and everything. So, we'd be bad.
They're really a great group of guys. The keyboard player, his name is Dwayne Charles. He was keyboard strings, and then the bass player again, like I said, was Kevin Scott. And then we already spoke of Rick, who was on saxophone. Claude Carter, who was on drums, and did I miss anybody? I don't think so.
I think I got everybody. And then we have you. Then we have you, lovely woman.
And me, Niecey LivingSingle. Yeah.
Niecey LivingSingle.
And I really love them. I love working with them. They're a great group of guys. Now, there's different other musicians that I work with. So when I'm Niecey and the Obamas, I just tell them, just the Obamas for the night, so whoever I work with, we're just Niecey and the Obamas, but I work with a collectively nice amount of musicians, different artists that I could have called. Like I said, my regular guitar player had moved. His name is Will Williams, and I also work with another guy named or we call him Big Daddy. But he's phenomenal. But I wasn't able to get in touch with him in time. So again, that's why I reached out to grab Rick, because I had just did an event for him in December. So and one thing I like about the guys that I work with, we all kind of just swap off, like the week before, Dwayne Charles, the keyboard player, had just hired me to do an event with him. And then 2 weeks before that, I had did an event with, the saxophone player. So, and then they were doing an event for me last weekend. So we all kind of just try to share the pot with one another, so everybody, changes their boss caps. I was the boss Saturday, but
I love it. You guys have a great Rolodex. I'm going to steal it from you. Can I have your Rolodex, please? That was, I got to tell you, when John Lee passed, that was one of the things, the quickest thing that Zakiya took out of the house was his address book.
Yeah.
Nothing was moved out real fast. It was like, okay, Grammy's address book.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. Well, that's how I kind of felt with Lee. When I worked with Alvon Johnson, I was just so happy. And Richard, I love Richard. I love him for having, faith and belief in me, because he was saying, Niecey, if you want to get out there, maybe if you can be in Alvon's show, then maybe that will showcase you. Because I'm not in the blues, era right now, and no one knows me. So I was like, I'm already a fan of Alvon's and love him anyway. So I was like, are you kidding? Sure, if he'll have me. So he was so nice. He was like, sure, she can come aboard. And he allowed me to sing with him over at the Empress Theater in Vallejo. We did an event over there. And then we did the one at the Fox Theater. And then from that, Richard was like, okay, I'm gonna give you a shot, girl. Don't you mess up. I said, I'm not gonna let you down. I'm fine. So I'm really grateful to Richard just for believing in me and giving me a chance to come out and showcase myself and make new friends. I love the blues family.
Yeah,
can't stop the blues. I love the blues family.
Pretty strong. Yeah, there's a pretty strong blues community here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I love them.
Even historically, there's, as you were saying earlier, the amount of talent that is here in the Bay Area. It's just, it's every day. It's amazing. I remember when I met Lydia Pence a couple of years ago at a dive bar of all places, and we exchanged texts for quite a while. And in fact, it reminds me, I need to reach out to her again. But when I talked with Alvon a couple of weeks ago, and I said to him, I don't know who this woman is. And he spoke so highly of you. And then I have to tell you, then I was so excited to meet you. And honestly, I had been out to dinner with a friend of mine who was in town from LA, and I was like, I don't feel like going anywhere. I just want to sleep in. And I go, no, I'm going to go listen to this woman, because I listened to her video, her music, Broken Pieces, and that video just completely blew me away. I have to meet her. And I was so excited to meet you, and I liked you so much.
Oh, I liked you too. I liked you. When I saw you, I was so happy you guys stuck around, because I was like, just even if you got to go, just stick around for a little while, Well,
I'm glad. I'm glad I did, and I have to tell you, at one point I was pulled away. Twice. My son called, and Zakiya Hooker, John Lee's daughter, called. She lives in Atlanta now. She used to live here in Oakland, and she moved to Atlanta a couple of years ago. She's also a recording artist in her own right, jazz and blues. And she asked me, she FaceTimed me, and she goes, what are you doing? And I go, well, I'm here. My new friend, Niecey LivingSingle, is playing, and I have to send you her music. You're going to absolutely love her.
Thank you.
And then she goes, LivingSingle? Was she in that sitcom? And I go, no, I don't think that's related, but apparently, and I didn't know, there was a sitcom like in the early 90s called LivingSingle.
The story behind my name is, that is my all-time favorite show. And what happened?
That's awesome. Zakiya's dialed into that right away. Does she know that show? I'm like, I don't know.
Well, what happened is, I you know how you change your profile. I was watching, they had a marathon on one night, and so I was usually going by Niecey Robinson, because that was my last name. And so I was looking at the show, so I changed my profile on Facebook. I thought that night I just put Niecey LivingSingle, and I just left it there. Now I meant to change it back, but no, when I got up the next morning, I had over like 300 people had hit up and said, oh, this your new name. I love your name.
That's awesome.
So I was trying to explain to them, well, no, not really. You know, this is, I mean, I just was looking at my favorite show, Living Single, but it just kind of stuck. And, you know, so I just started calling myself Niecey LivingSingle. And, you know, 8 years later, I'm Niecey LivingSingle.
That is the greatest story. And I love as a kid just dialed into that. Just wait a minute, that show. I'm like, I don't know. I'll ask her. So I have
people all the time, you know, or, you know, I do have a few men that would say, okay, now if you got a boyfriend, why are you calling yourself Niecey LivingSingle? So I have to go into no, it's not anything about my relationship status. Living Single is still one of my all-time favorite shows.
I remember it was a hit show.
It was a hit show, yeah. And I said, but I goofingly was playing around. Naming myself Niecey LivingSingle was by accident. I did not brainstorm that up at all. But just the reaction I got off of it, people were like, "That's so catchy," you know. So
I love it.
Now I have people that's walking and they'll be like, "Niecey LivingSingle." I'm like, I'm Niecey LivingSingle.
Now, see, that makes your name all the more better. I just absolutely love that. That's the cutest thing in the whole world. Oh my God. I just love that. There's like when bands name themselves and there's like some obscure reason why they chose that pop culture reference, you know, and that makes it all the more special.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
All right, young ladies. So tell me what's next for you.
So what's next? I am working currently with another young guy. We're putting together, we're going to start working on a jazz single. So I'm just waiting for him to get all of the, you know, the things together, the music and everything that he's putting together. But he called me yesterday, so we're putting that together and I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm working with, again, the Motown group. Seems like music is starting to open back up again.
Yes,
so
it is.
I'll be paying tribute to Martha Reeves and the Vandellas at Thunder Valley, supposedly July 3rd, if nothing changes. Right now, everything is like teeter-totter, but I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed. But I'm looking forward to doing that. I've been with that group over 15 years, so it's fun. To work with them and you know, portray a lot of artists from the Motown era. I'm also putting together, because Chaka Khan is another idol of mine. I love her. So I am putting together a late fall show, my tribute to a salute to Chaka Khan. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
I bet that'll be fantastic. Well, I definitely want to be front and center for these, for sure.
Oh, yes. And then I want to make sure everyone that's going to be looking, make sure you look for us March 13th. I'm very excited just to be on the blues platform, and I hope I'm invited back again. And I can win the hearts of everyone because
you will be. Yeah, no, it is actually the Golden Gate Blues Society that we Niecey LivingSingle. The Obama's Love Show, which I totally love, it's March 19th, next Friday.
Yes, March 19th. Yes, 6 p.m. And I am so excited to just be on that platform, because I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a whole nother door that's opening up, and let's go. And you know, one thing I liked about Richard, he said, Niecey, you can do some of anything. So it's there's some of everything that I stuck in there. Not everything that I can totally do, but just, he said, you don't have to just stick with the blues. Just be you and come in and just, you know, do your thing. And so I was like, okay. So that's where Rick, the saxophone player, I thought he'll be great, because you know, people love singing, but it's always nice to have something else, you know, to revert to when you start losing people's interest sometime. And Rick just knows how to just pick it right back up.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just want to thank Can't Stop the Blues. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Sherri. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you.
I love you so much, young lady. So everyone, I want you to tune in March 19th at 6 p.m. the Golden Gate Blues Society and Can't Stop the Blues for the lovely Niecey LivingSingle.
Yeah.